Next up, new live stream, Jiangcheng Gold Level S-Class Siege Order. A second later, it caught the attention of many people across the continent, and they started commenting. Jiang Cha said, "This must be clickbait today, you need a gold coin to watch." Invincible Wisdom replied, "Definitely, the boss integrates all of us to focus our strength and defeat it to drop a siege order D level." Ghost Girl Xiaoyi, "No way. Oh my god, there are so many monsters." Erickson, "Does anyone know where this is? If they succeed in building the city, I will definitely settle there." Rod Empire World New, "Damn. Why are they Easterners?" The moment approached, and the zombie attack was only seconds away. 5, 4, 3, 2. Chen Bai was also ready, summoning the tentacles in advance, silently thinking, "They're coming." 1 second, 0 seconds. The city defense preparation time was over. At this moment, the zombies that appeared human-like had already evolved. They grew larger and were covered in spikes. Some even had disgusting blisters all over their bodies. The monsters have been strengthened. System notification, siege begins. Bai Gu slightly panicked, seeing the mutation of the zombies. She regretfully said, "They strengthened when the siege started. What a pity, we should have killed some zombies before they were strengthened." Song Ziqiang proudly looked at Chen Bai's sturdy shoulders and said from behind, he knew the monsters would strengthen, but he said that more experience and money can be gained from strengthened monsters. After saying this, he looked towards Chen Bai and leapt out of the crowd with tremendous force. He struck heavily, causing the sky to shake as he hit the group of zombies. The immense force threw them into the air, limbs flying. And in that moment, he thought, the zombies' attributes have tripled, but the gold coins and experience have tripled as well. Chen Bai now chose to grab the head of a zombie. He was spreading the plague to it, and the magical tentacles began to entangle it. The system displayed, Plague 5/5, all attributes plus 15, debuff causing reduced resistance in contacts. A small system continued to announce additional functions, spread plague, cooldown time 5 seconds. This was nothing to Chen Bai. He waved his hand and tossed the infected zombie, sending several zombies flying. The system continued to report, the plague spreads at an astonishing speed, causing long-term corrosive damage to enemies and reducing their attributes. The infected zombies quickly spread the virus to others, and they were wailing in the toxic mist Chen Bai created. Chen Bai watched the struggling zombies with satisfaction, thinking, the skill is great, although the damage is low. The powerful infection ability combined with attribute reduction will make this city defense much easier. Soon, thousands of zombies began to automatically avoid those already infected by the virus. I didn't expect these monsters to be so smart. Chen Bai couldn't help but exclaim, where did the mental deterrence come from? The infected zombies piled up, and the others began to avoid them. Observing the 1,000 zombies ahead, Chen Bai silently guessed, a lord. There must be a lord among these zombies who can control the others. No wonder these zombies aren't pushing and trampling each other, but are moving forward in an orderly fashion. He immediately started using his abilities. Chen Bai swung his arms in the midst of the zombie crowd, continuously creating huge whirlwinds, throwing many zombies into the air. He thought, find the Lord, and the out-of-control zombies will be easier to deal with. But I still don't know the Lord's location, it may take a lot of time to find. We need to defeat the leader first to control the situation. Chen Bai's gaze sharpened, thinking, if I go after the Lord now, the zombie tide controlled by the Lord will attack the defenders with full force. There will definitely be casualties. The current difficulty is that there are too many zombies. Chen Bai clenched his teeth and recalled the battle situation, anxiously thinking, but if I don't quickly find and kill the Lord, when the zombies in other areas threaten the assembly point, our people will scatter. At that time, I can't give up, I can't go, I can't stay. Charging toward those zombies, none could fight back, and only then did Chen Bai realize he needed help. It seems that to resolve the current situation, I still need Ming Ming's help. Not just ordinary zombies, many have evolved and can spray poison to attack me. Chen Bai could only block with his shoulder. On that soft bed, Meng Meng was still snoring. Chen Bai sighed inwardly, wake up quickly. Please, Meng Meng. The next second, as if by some magical perception, Meng Meng slowly opened her eyes. Brother Song was taking care of Meng Meng, and upon seeing her awake, he happily said, "You're awake, Meng Meng." Still groggy from just waking up, she asked, "Oh, who are you?" Meng Meng looked around with a flushed face, a little scared, then asked, "Where is this? Where's my master?" The news that Meng Meng had woken up was quickly conveyed to Chen Bai by Brother Song. Meng Meng woke up, I'm explaining the situation to her. Hearing this good news, Chen Bai felt some relief and said, "That's great." After listening to Brother Song's description, Meng Meng immediately sent him a text, "Sorry, Master, you accelerated too quickly. I couldn't withstand the wind pressure and exhausted my stamina, so I fell unconscious." After hearing Brother Song's description, I now understand the current situation. I will enter the dream state now to help you kill monsters. Chen Bai immediately replied, "No rush, let me first describe a zombie's form. Hurry and use your dream entry ability to find that zombie." It was indeed a good plan. Chen Bai held the line while waiting for Meng Meng to help him find the zombie lord. Soon, Meng Meng received the message and read aloud, "An ordinary human body, with something protruding from the shoulders resembling shoulder pads, a very large head. There is a layer of humanoid skin on the outside, with tentacles extending from the shoulders, and the mental power is extremely strong." Settling her mind, Meng Meng told Brother Song, "I'm going to enter the dream state, please don't let anyone approach me, thank you." Seeing Meng Meng fall into a sleep state, Brother Song was confused and said, How did she fall asleep so quickly?" In the blink of an eye, Meng Meng entered the dream space, which was connected to the real world. She stood on a high wall and looked down, unable to help but exclaim, "Wow, so many zombies." Without hesitation, Meng Meng extended her hands and released her dream-weaving ability. The light spots quickly turned into a large number of stones, falling from the high wall, dropping from a height of several meters. The massive stones fell at high speed, crushing many zombies. Meng Meng saw the effect was good and happily shouted, "Oh, it's really the strongest in dream space." With confidence, she straightened her chest, started the action, and thought to herself, "All right, quickly find the zombie my master mentioned." Picking up stones from above, Meng Meng imagined herself growing a pair of beautiful wings and swiftly flew forward, passing through the hordes of zombies, saying, "I can't delay the task my master gave me." By the afternoon, as the day's defense work was nearly over, Chen Bai exhaustedly landed on the wall and deeply sighed, "Phew." His sweat soaked through. He reached for his water bottle and asked Ziqiang, "How are the casualties of the members? How's the damage to the city wall?" Ziqiang softly replied, "Luckily, with you clearing ahead, no one has died. There are fewer monsters under the city wall, and we killed them a few times, with only a few members injured." Hearing that the situation was optimistic, Ziqiang looked at Chen Bai drinking water and continued, "The damage to the city wall is also minimal. I think you can rest easy and let others continue guarding." After taking a sip of water, Chen Bai felt uneasy and seriously refused, "No, the situation isn't optimistic yet." Only then did he mention the zombie lord. Upon hearing the battlefield situation, Ziqiang was shocked and froze. "The lord?" Ziqiang carefully took the water bottle, hesitated, and asked, How can such a zombie exist?" Chen Bai extended his hand and explained, "Well, today only enhanced versions of ordinary zombies appeared. There are very few special zombies." His face grew even more serious as he whispered, I have a feeling that this lord might be gathering strength, preparing to strike all at once. Upon seeing her master, Meng Meng was overjoyed, like finding treasure. She ran over and shouted loudly, "Master! Master!" Behind her, Brother Song also wore a happy smile, finally seeing her. Chen Bai saw Meng Meng happily running from a distance and didn't notice. Chen Bai shouted to Meng Meng. Song Gu, tired from running, reminded her, "Baby, slow down." Song Ziqing, surprised to see Song Gu, thought to herself, "Little brother." Chen Bai turned to Ziqing and said, "Tell Lu Li not to stream here." She quickly responded, "Okay." Soon, Song Ziqing turned around and reported that Emperor Lu Li had adjusted all the flying device live streaming systems. Then Chen Bai said, His voice became very serious as he continued, "Ming Ming's ability is very special, and it must not be known to others." Song Ziqing replied, "Got it." When Meng Meng reached the destination, she squatted down to catch her breath, completely different from her previous cold image. At that moment, he gently patted her shoulder and asked, "Why the rush? Did you find the leader?" Meng Meng gasped and tried to answer, Not yet." Meng Meng innocently looked up and explained the situation. "Although I can sense some psychic fluctuations, they are always very brief, so I can only confirm the general direction. I haven't locked in the tracking skill, sorry, master." Although she hadn't been much help, Chen Bai didn't blame her. He gently said, "Meng Meng, stop saying sorry all the time. I know you've been trying your best." Meng Meng nodded softly, Then she turned around, wiping sweat, and said, "But it's not that I haven't gained anything." "The map, Songgu?" Upon hearing this, Songgu immediately responded, "Here." Songgu spread out the map, and Meng Meng began explaining, "Although I haven't found the leader, I discovered some places where special zombies are concentrated. Each place has a few hundred special zombies." After speaking, Meng Meng pointed to a base and said, "Like this place near Jiangqing's farmer's market, there are 200 to 300 chubby zombies with red eyes, over 2 meters tall." Now Meng Meng pointed and circled multiple locations, further explaining. Dongjiang Square was full of strange zombies with no arms, while on the television tower by the river, there was a crawling zombie. All of these were extremely fast zombies, and the streets of the commercial district were full of strong zombies with sturdy limbs. Chen Bai imagined their appearance, then stroked his chin and continued, "Chubby, tank type, hunter type, and howling type, all second stage evolved zombies." Song Ziqing, standing beside him, crossed her arms and interjected, "You're right, they really want to eliminate us completely." Song Ziqing's gaze became more serious as she asked deeply, "Emperor, in your judgment, how strong are the second stage evolved zombies?" Chen Bai explained to Meng Meng and Song Ziqing, second stage evolved zombies are at least level 10, and based on the number Meng Meng described, they have already gathered over 1,000. Chen Bai frowned, his expression becoming colder. He whispered, "Considering this number, if it's just me alone, it's not impossible to defeat them, but..." Then he directly expressed his concern, once the zombie leader evolves and strengthens, under its command, they definitely won't attack me, but will focus all their efforts on breaking the walls and slaughtering the civilians in the city. At that point, this will become a game of who can kill faster. Our survivors may not exceed 10%. Hearing this, the three girls' faces turned pale, and they lost their initial confidence. Song Ziqing turned to shout towards the zombies' direction, "We must deal with the leader first. I'll investigate if anyone in the city has the ability to track psychic fluctuations and monsters." However, Chen Bai remained calm and stopped Ziqing, "Don't rush. I just remembered, I have a suitable candidate here." After a while, Chen Bai contacted Han Xiaobai and asked, "Do you have the ability to track the source of psychic fluctuations?" Han Xiaobai replied, "What are you joking about? Emperor, my talent is controlling mental power, and I'm very sensitive to psychic fluctuations. Chen Bai immediately responded, "Good, please help me with this." Han Xiaobai continued, "Is this related to the leader you mentioned in the stream?" Chen Bai organized the information and said, "Yes, let me explain the situation and the plan to you first." The next day, during the defense battle, they gathered in the Dongshan Villa area. In the dream space, Meng Meng used her ability to bring Han Xiaobai over to help. After seeing the surrounding environment, Han Xiaobai excitedly said, "Is this by Emperor's gathering place? I only saw the city walls on the stream, I didn't expect such a large villa area." Just as he ran into Chen Bai, Han Xiaobai jokingly asked, "By Emperor, if I move here, can I live in one of the villas?" Chen Bai enthusiastically waved and answered, "Of course, there are many empty villas on the mountain top, you can choose any." It was just a joke, but Han Xiaobai actually came, and he was so excited that he almost went mad. He exaggerated, saying, "Oh yeah." He grinned, showing his teeth, and said, "Bai Ge is so nice to me. I'll go all out today, I'm ready. When do we depart?" Meng Meng, slightly confused, asked Chen Bai, "Master, which type of special zombie are we going to kill first?" Chen Bai thought for a few seconds and then looked ahead. Then he pointed towards the direction of the television tower. On the television tower on the east bank of Jiangcheng, the entire building was filled with many glass windows. A group of zombies was climbing up like ants. These zombies moved quickly and bit people. They attacked each other. The three of them, Chen Bai, Meng Meng, and Han Xiao, saw them from afar, and Chen Bai said, "Those hunters are the only ones who can underestimate the zombie wall. They are also the greatest threat to the stronghold." Then he looked at Han Xiao and said, "The Lord definitely won't let us kill these hunters. It's up to you." Now, Han Xiao. Han Xiao, confident after today's dungeon battle, immediately responded, "Leave it to me." After saying that, Chen Bai used Qigong to leap into the air, and Meng Meng also used her abilities to grow wings and flew up. Chen Bai turned to Meng Meng and said, "Meng Meng, charge up." Meng Meng. Meng Meng firmly responded, "Yes." It seemed either by accident or on purpose, Han Xiao was left standing there, feeling confused. He excitedly pointed at his face, thinking, "Should I also study how to use mental power to control objects in flight?" After a while, Meng Meng flew near a group of zombies climbing up a building. She activated the immortal clear thought skill, and a powerful shockwave radiated from the little girl. Many zombies were paralyzed and fell off. Meng Meng opened her big, cute eyes and proudly said, "Hee hee, I'm still pretty strong in the dream space, right?" This wave of energy also partially attracted the attention of other zombies. They seemed starving and started turning toward Meng Meng, jumping over to her with a loud crash. Meng Meng's heart skipped a beat. She had just felt proud for a few seconds, but now she was in panic. Too fast, it's over. At this moment, many terrifying naked zombies rushed toward Meng Meng without hesitation. They fiercely attacked in groups, and Meng Meng was overwhelmed. She shouted in fear, "I can't dodge in time." No matter the difficulty, Chen Bai would solve it. How could Meng Meng be touched by a zombie? Like Superman, Chen Bai flew over and shouted, "Meng Meng, stop." He circled around and successfully used his abilities to send all the zombies flying without harming Meng Meng. Chen Bai's system showed Hellfire, partial level A, surrounded by Hellfire, sustained mental power consumption causes double burn damage on enemy contact. He activated the Virus King's power, and giant spikes shot out from the high wall, stabbing into every zombie and eliminating a large batch. They hung suspended in the air. Next was the dual sword performance from Chen Bai and Meng Meng. He scratched each advanced zombie while Meng Meng blew out energy to eliminate the low-level zombies. After a while, Chen Bai relaxed and stood on the rooftop of the building, allowing the virus tendrils to absorb. He said, "Last one, both systems show the evolution has been devoured. Mutant Elite, Speed-type Zombie. Stage 3 gained 200 virus points, external radiation virus 50, devouring adjustments reduced by 60%. Meng floated in the air and looked down, saying, 297 is the attack for the second day, and so many evolved elite zombies have already gathered. Chen Bai explained, speed-type zombies gather quickly, this could be the zombies of the entire Jiangcheng, and even nearby cities might join. He looked at the city landscape and predicted, more zombies will come for sure, but by then, the Lord should be dead. Without the Lord leading, their attacks will be scattered and not worth mentioning. Meng excitedly looked at him and flew next to Chen Bai, asking, so, should we pick a place and concentrate our sweep? She was about to say something. Suddenly, Chen Bai noticed something. He saw a small object flying toward them with an extremely fast response speed. He quickly grabbed a flying knife with 2 fingers, saying, looks like we don't need to anymore. It was a notification letter from Han Xiao, and inside the letter was a small note that read found it. After opening it, Chen Bai said, this is Han Xiao's message. He has locked onto the Lord's position. This news made Meng happy. After receiving the message, Meng and Chen Bai immediately moved to the northeast mountain area of Jiangqing's stronghold. Han Xiao stood on a mountain peak as high as a mountain, pointing in the distance, saying, the source of the mental wave is in the valley ahead. Chen Bai looked and couldn't help but sigh. I didn't expect it to be right behind, seems like it's not lacking in intelligence. Han Xiao smiled brightly, excitedly waving his hand, looking at Chen Bai and urging, White Emperor, let's go fight the boss. I can't wait. Unlike Han Xiao's relaxed mood, Chen Bai quietly stared into the distance. We need to return to the real world first, then we can fight this lord. The sudden shift in emotion left Han Xiao feeling a bit lost, and he asked in confusion, huh? Why? White Emperor. Chen Bai's thoughts deepened. He needed to prepare for the future, so he wanted to make a clear plan for the name. It needs to be live-streamed. This lord is a great stepping stone and can help improve the name. He patted Han Xiao's shoulder and promised, you've been a great help this time. If something good comes out, I'll keep it. For you. Han Xiao immediately became happy, replying, thank you, White Emperor. Just as they were about to head back, Chen Bai looked up and said to Meng, it's time for me to wake up. Meng can take Han Xiao to eliminate some second-stage elite zombies. Meng was very happy because she could continue to fight and gain experience. She quickly asked, what kind of zombies? Images of several types of zombies appeared in Chen Bai's mind, and he described, the one that screams is an evolved zombie. Their psychic power is just right for the two of you to counter. Although they lack close combat abilities, they can scream, which is still a threat to enhanced zombies. After saying this, he warmly bid farewell and decided to leave early. Meng understood and said, got it, master. Han Xiao also firmly said, I will ensure the task is completed. A while later, having left Meng's dream, Chen Bai arrived alone at the northeastern gathering point Jiangcheng. He stood at the spot where Han Xiao had stood and thought, this is the place. Chen Bai pondered, staring intently at the direction of the valley, and murmured, it's close. Although I don't have reconnaissance abilities, I can feel the aura of advanced evolutionary viruses. When he wasn't paying attention, a zombie suddenly ambushed him from behind. This zombie transformed its 2 hands into scythes, attacking rapidly, slashing left and right with sharp blades. But Chen Bai cleverly dodged with his high sensitivity. Seeing the appearance of this zombie, he exclaimed in surprise, a hunter? Its evolution speed is even faster than a hunter's. The zombie continued to pounce at Chen Bai, attacking with the 2 scythes connected to its body. He analyzed, they are likely guards brought by the Lord. These zombies love close combat and are about the same speed as me. Just as the zombie leaped towards Chen Bai, he quickly switched to a new stance, turning one hand into a shield and the other into a sharp claw. Blocking the monster's breath, Chen Bai thought, I must pretend to be weak to create an opening in their attack. Without using much power, the zombie was already trembling. Chen Bai continued to think, if I don't disturb them from starting, the close combat might be delayed for a long time. It wouldn't be good if the Lord escapes in the meantime. As he expected, another zombie ran over, planning to ambush him. But Chen Bai had already noticed. He excitedly thought, here it comes. Accurately calculating the distance and speed, Chen Bai grabbed the first zombie's hand and threw it at the second zombie charging at him. They howled in pain. The two zombies' ugly faces collided, getting confused. Their heads were lowered. Chen Bai accurately calculated and punched, smashing both heads, another devouring evolution skill. As usual, two system prompts appeared, devouring evolution, reminder, devour evolved elite zombies, hunter-type evolution. Speed stage 4. All virus abilities enhanced. Reminder, gained 1000 virus points, devouring evolution virus points 750. He extended his hands, and the viral tendrils absorbed them. The two giant zombies slowly shriveled, leaving only a few arms. Then, two more system prompts appeared, devouring evolution elite zombie, reminder, gained 900 virus points, devoured multiple times, adjustment of gains about 10%. Chen Bai's devouring ability evolved and broke through to a new form. He raised the scythe he had just fused from the previous zombie. And said with satisfaction, a new form? The system prompt appeared, new external ultraviolet virus form, scythe form. After stabilizing the new form, Chen Bai felt a formidable power. He thought, mental shock, psychic power too strong. I knew there was something unclean here. Chen Bai looked at a nearby high branch and shouted, I thought you would escape, did you think you could kill me? The shadow on the branch just now was a lord zombie, covered with tentacles and tumors on its head, looking extremely disgusting. Did it look like an octopus? Chen Bai forcefully stomped the ground and leaped, confidently saying, then you're completely wrong. With one strike, Chen Bai charged up and slashed the lord zombie's huge head off. It didn't resist and was quickly sliced in half by Chen Bai. Its enormous head fell to the ground with a thud just as Chen Bai landed. He mentally commented, this boss is a bit weak. A voice suddenly shouted, White Emperor. Chen Bai quickly turned around. It was Song Ziqiang. The young lady ran over and hugged Chen Bai, saying softly, thanks to White Emperor killing the leader. The upcoming attacks will be easier to handle without a commander. He suddenly asked, who are these girls? It must have been a long time since they taught these students. The girls who loved learning came forward one by one, all excited to invite him. Brother Song scratched his head, of course, congratulations on your brat's success. Luli blinked and sent a signal, you're really reliable. Ling Yu became bolder, sending many signals of love, master. So the four of them surrounded Chen Bai, all of them gentle and cherishing him, making him want to immerse himself in learning. He stood in the middle, happily saying, truly, you've precisely caught my weakness and preference. Cutting off the rising emotional fluctuations, Chen Bai restored his lost expression, thinking to himself, but Chen Bai's dual blades spun around, cutting through with a storm-like aura. The girls from the harem revealed their true forms, as they were illusions created by the zombie leader. Song Ziqiang's illusion was just a layer of breath, and its magic was shattered by a powerful blow. Everything turned into transparent bubbles, floating, though still somewhat dreamlike in the battle. Chen Bai felt, this level of illusion shouldn't be brought out to embarrass themselves. The zombie leader remained unchanged, and dealing with it was not easy. Chen Bai turned with an indifferent attitude, though. You created illusions, it still couldn't affect my basic judgment. It seems your mental power index is lower than mine. The zombie leader trembled with rage after being touched on its pride and roared with its mouth wide open. Chen Bai's expression was cold and sharp as he arrogantly confronted it. May I ask, zombie leader? Chenbai faced off against the zombie leader, and this event was live-streamed on the Continental system. Many people watched and kept commenting, "There's an illusion, no wonder I saw him slash through the air twice. It's just a shame the illusion wasn't shown in the live stream. I thought there was an invisible monster. This advanced zombie doesn't seem that strong." Haha, not strong? You go try killing one. A mutated zombie just appeared in Antarctic City. We killed one a few days ago, and our entire team has A-level talents. I'm also from Antarctic City, that's our strongest team. Just now, he said no evolved mental type can compare to him. Did I hear that right? You didn't hear wrong, I heard it too. Ridiculous. I suspect this fight was staged by the Golden Monkey. Every time, there are clowns who don't want to face reality. Another system window appeared. Everyone, switch to the third live stream, the strong attacks are starting. On the city wall in the gathering place of Jiangcheng, evolved zombies began entering the second stage, and the raging bosses appeared. Now the more violent evolvers had arrived, with huge fat zombies appearing, and the smaller zombies became stronger. They were thrown over 10 meters by the big zombies. More agile than the fat zombies, they allowed these smaller zombies to climb up the entire city wall. Reminder to first eliminate the zombies thrown up. Song Ziqiang was still struggling to defend here. The zombies thrown up angrily rushed toward them. In addition to Song Ziqiang, other professionals were fighting these zombies. The B-level talent specializing in throwing was also skilled in ricocheting. Throwing accuracy increased damage, and the C-level talent spell arrow could change the flight direction, while the C-level talent invisible resistance could alter the flight path. They continuously shot many arrows, constantly attacking and shooting them. Among the zombies, there was also a large and tough monster. Ice charged even higher, and this zombie monster had already placed its foot on the city wall. It also had an ability to release shockwaves. This zombie monster arched its body and roared loudly, emitting a dense sound from the shockwave that made ears ache. Many professionals, unable to bear the pressure, had to retreat. A professional ran ahead and said, "The fourth section of the wall has been damaged. They're starting to throw zombies onto the fourth section, and it looks like it's about to fall." Song Ziqiang showed her abilities, leaping up and ready to throw her flying knives, shouting, "Don't panic, hold your positions." Song Ziqiang threw suddenly, the massive flying knife flying out with strong force, causing even her team members to dodge in shock. Over here, Bai Yang was fully engaged in eliminating zombies, running like lightning, destroying wherever she went. The zombie that just released a shockwave took a hit from Song Ziqiang's attack and seemed still not strong enough. It grinned loudly, "Goo goo, haha." Hearing the provocative laughter, Song Ziqiang angrily snapped her fingers and then snorted coldly. In the instant of the flick, a massive iron pillar as thick as an old tree root exploded and slammed into the zombie's abdomen, which had just been arrogant for a few seconds. After a while, the situation temporarily stabilized, and Song Ziqiang spread her arms, loudly telling everyone, "Everyone, calm down. Soon, the White Emperor will kill the commander. Once we get past this wave, we will definitely win." As soon as she finished speaking, the professionals cheered, and Song Ziqiang's live-streamed image was shared, with many people in the comments praising her and expressing their admiration. "She's too strong, I'm leaving guys, I'm going to start. I want to be her dog. I prefer the person behind her, not the queen or the female assassin. Oh my god, I love her so much. Stop dreaming, she's the White Emperor's woman. Everyone, go watch the White Emperor's side, go watch the White Emperor's side. I didn't expect there would be so many high-level zombies." The camera shifted to the northeastern mountain gathering point, where Chenbai faced off against the zombies, using plague-infected moves to infect them. This tyrant-level zombie was summoned by the zombie lord to assist in the fight against Chenbai. It was 5 times larger than Chenbai, had spiky horns, and on its giant palms, there was an additional wet mouth. With a tongue so long it was chilling. Chinbai punched it in the chest, causing it to stumble. Comments in the live stream kept pouring in. What kind of zombie is this? The mutated tyrant's evolution. Called the follower. Wow. Bro, you really know your stuff. Have you seen one before? It's just arrived. Their names are set by the White Emperor. Before this zombie was dealt with, the zombie lord threw another meatball. Over. Chenbai immediately became alert and turned to dodge. The live stream viewers commented, "Tell the newcomers." The White Emperor waits for the Lord to summon help before taking action. That arrogant person is definitely going to pay for their arrogance. Some people are just jealous when they see others strong. Then came a massive explosion as the zombie meatball hit the ground. Chenbai leaped to avoid the shockwave. After the huge explosion, a high-level zombie appeared, its body engulfed in raging flames that burned like hell. It was called the Heretic, its appearance almost human, clearly a formidable opponent. Suddenly, another deafening explosion occurred. Chenbai quickly dodged, as dust flew everywhere. A fat and enormous zombie appeared before Chenbai. Its body was covered in red flesh lumps, and its pale zombie arms were sprouting more flesh chunks. The monster struggled wildly, shaking the entire area. The live stream became lively again. Is this the Lord's final helper? Mutated flesh mountain, power type. I've seen stronger mutated power types than this. Stop boasting. Really, the entire city wall was swallowed by this flesh mountain zombie. I'm also near the city, though far, I can still see it. Faced with such a strong momentum and manpower support, Chenbai remained unshaken. He swung his arms to summon the firepower, enveloping his entire body in flames, with his arms turning into hellish fire forms. He shouted, "This little power wants to stop me?" From Chenbai's small arms, viral tendrils quickly intertwined to form a huge drill, stabbing directly at the fat zombie's chest. The meatball lost its breath immediately after the hit, and its painful roar echoed through the area. Chenbai quickly charged towards the zombie lord's position, raising his hand to slash his sharp claws toward its face. Seconds later, the claws turned jagged, and he forcefully tore open the outer coat, swinging the airflow like a sharp cold wind, coldly saying, "Want to run?" Too late. The comment section went crazy again. Did the Lord die? I'm going to watch the live stream. I'm not going. You watch and come back with updates. The zombie army fell into chaos, even trampling over each other, as the Lord had just died, and the whole army was wiped out. They didn't even know that the fat zombie had been thrown. It seems this Lord was indeed a menace. The supporting fat zombie's large hand slammed toward Chenbai, trying to swat him like a mosquito. Boom! A heavy blow, rocks flew, dust swirled, and Chenbai disappeared into the dust. The giant zombie's hand opened its mouth wide. The previous blow had actually been to grab the Lord. It was surprising that this big guy, too greedy, had opened its mouth to try to swallow the zombie Lord as well. At this moment, Chenbai quickly leaped up, using the momentum from the giant hand's swing to strike at the fat zombie's hand. With a grim face, Chenbai coldly said, "Who allowed you to eat my things?" Displaying his deadly skill, he split the giant zombie in half as if cutting open a fresh watermelon. Demonic energy and viruses surged out, and the forum heated up again. Isn't the White Emperor supposed to absorb monsters? Why isn't he absorbing these? It must be inconvenient during the fight, earlier when facing the corpse tide he could absorb at will, but these small fry can't compare to the current enemies. After dealing with the watermelon skin, the next target was the coconut shell. The tyrant zombie saw its teammate injured and immediately charged over, pulling the Lord out from the giant hand with its tongue. That long tongue twisted into more than 10 meters long, swinging wildly toward Chenbai. Chenbai quickly dodged and struck back with a counterattack. During a brief pause, Chenbai muttered to himself, the power is a bit weaker than before. It seems the infection's plague effect is also wearing off. The tyrant zombie that had just been attacked by the virus, Chenbai confidently charged toward it. It opened its big mouth and swung its palm down. Before the tyrant could make a move, Chenbai quickly charged up with a slight advantage and collided with the large hand, saying, "Your resistance to the heretic's soul fire is impressive, let me borrow it." Behind the massive tyrant, flames erupted from the heretic zombies. It roared with all its might, shaking the area and making it glow. They coordinated well, with Chenbai pushing the person up and charging forward without fear. As a result, a powerful strike split the heretic in half. Under the intense light, Chenbai's speed was not to be underestimated. In an instant, the tyrant flew to one side, and the heretic stumbled, coldly saying, "It's over." The chaotic battle finally ended, with Chenbai being the last survivor, surrounded by the scattered zombie corpses. Every corpse dropped an item, and as Chenbai scanned the battlefield, he thought, my luck is pretty good. I didn't expect these materials I've been collecting for so long to be so neatly gathered together. The disaster biochemical blueprint sea level suddenly appeared, required materials, zombie claw, melee metal device, Storm King skeleton, heretic heart, Lord Brain. Chenbai now said, these are the essence, even better than the blueprint's requirements. This should yield something good. The zombie capture claw E level shows, agility increased by 10%, attack power increased. Note, skill recovery. After striking the enemy, adds, ghost shadow claw, active increase of 10%. Agility increased by 20%, attack speed. Requires agility equipped greater than or equal to 25. Evolution level greater than or equal to 2. From the zombie horde earlier, Chenbai obtained highly valuable loot. This was broadcast live, and the forum immediately erupted. Damn, is this what I'm seeing? These materials dropped from zombies can be used to make equipment. Unbelievable. Wow, can Baidu show us the attributes of these synthesized items? Dream on, no way we'll see these equipment's attributes. Chenbai looked at these items and frowned, saying, sea level? Chenbai's system displayed disaster biochemical weapon, a special sea level gloves, all attributes increased by 35. Looking at the two gloves floating in front of him, Chenbai didn't speak, contemplating for a while. On the forum, discussions heated up, he's looking at the attributes. I want to see too. He looks unhappy, seems like this might not be great. Sea level. Looks like he's not satisfied with this sea level equipment. Chenbai's system reported, Lord Brain is efficient, can always control 3 mutated tyrants with mental strength no higher than his own. Pursuer Wisdom Skeleton actively increases 30% agility and strength, while increasing attack speed. Effect gradually decays every second, lasting for 50 minutes, cooldown 3 hours. The system continues to show more detailed mutation powers, with Mutant Flesh Mountain Root actively defeating enemies, activating a recovery state that restores special energy, mental strength, wounds, and stamina. Each time an enemy is defeated, all basic attributes, except for mental strength, increase by 1, not stackable, lasting for 20 minutes. The Lin Fire Heretic Heart actively releases a mental field that can both attack and defend, resisting mental attacks and releasing mental oppression. A summary display shows the effect of activating this equipment, creating rare extremes, and obtaining special abilities to evolve the disaster. After equipping the disaster biochemical, killing 100,000 enemies, and performing a biochemical mutation, along with 100 high-level mutants, this equipment will evolve into a mature immortal body. Chenbai was stunned and said, mature immortal body? What's this? Now he thought in a different direction. Although some important parts of the bodies were stripped for materials, the remaining Parts still had high absorption value. He then wondered if these could help his black light virus evolve further. He stood in the pile of zombie corpses from earlier, extending his tendrils to absorb the surroundings. The system gave a reminder. Devouring mutant tracker, tyrant type, 4th tier speed stage, gaining points continuously, unlocking new abilities. Of the black light virus, unlocked 4 times, virus awakening progress reached 30%, advanced skills unlocked. After some time, Chenbai retracted his tendrils, having absorbed enough mutant zombies. He pondered the new form and then said, activate the black light virus awakening panel and skills panel. The system immediately opened the awakening panel, and Chenbai browsed the awakening percentage. He paused as he browsed the black light virus section. He operated the system with both hands, fully concentrating. First, allocate all evolution points to the black light virus. The 2 sets of gloves were Chenbai's newly prepared equipment. He looked at his hands, pleased, muttering to himself, this is good. If this treasure evolves into a mature immortal body, it will have more new abilities. I can't wait to test its effects. A few seconds later, he flew into the air, following a curved trajectory. The system appeared in mid-air, using stamina-consuming weapons to fly or change direction, with stamina consumption increasing with each use. In the office of the Jiangcheng Villa, Luli was busy with a live broadcast. She called Song Ziqiang to report, Ziqiang, Baidi is done now. He's flying toward the city wall, and I'm adjusting all the cameras for the live stream. The cosmic wheel is pointing to the battlefield. Song Ziqiang was sitting in a tent inside the city wall, her arm injured, with Su Xan treating her. She answered Luli, okay, Luli, I understand. Song Ziqiang's injury healed quickly, and she expressed her concern to the devoted nurse Su Xan. Su Xan, you've worked hard, you haven't rested since the siege began. After this wave of attacks, you can take a break. Su Xan's face looked slightly haggard, but she still tried to speak, I can continue. Many were injured in the last major assault, so I can't relax yet. Seeing Su Xinzi's anxious expression, Ziqing stood up, pressed Su Xan back into the chair, and said, you must rest. People with your healing talent can't do everything alone. Also, if the White Emperor sees you're tired, he'll be upset. Ziqing, with a slight blush, leaned in close to Su Xan's ear and whispered meaningfully, if we don't have your healing ability after the defense phase ends, us sisters are doomed. Su Xan then understood Ziqing's thoughts and her face instantly turned red. Are you celebrating me? Suddenly, the young lawyer Ling Yu pushed the door open, holding a piece of paper, and called out, Ziqing, the situation is not looking good. Upon hearing this, the 2 inside the room were immediately startled and filled with worry. Ling Yu mentioned our base and then explained, although the siege order was invalid after the Lord's death, the corpse demons from a distance are no longer rushing towards the city wall at full speed. However, the corpse demons within 1 kilometer of the city wall are still full of hatred for the residential areas and are now attacking wildly. When mentioning the advanced corpse demons, Ling Yu's expression grew more serious. She explained, the worst part is that the mutated high-level corpse demons summoned by the Lord have lost their command, but they have regrouped. Based on my overall observation, our 3-tiered city walls have already been breached. She added, now the most dangerous area is from the 6th to the 8th segment in the west. Our tank concentration area is completely unable to stop them. The scene shifted to an observation point inside the city wall. Ziqing, assigned to this area, immediately asked the girl beside her, Ziwei, how's the situation there? Ziwei, using her talent, observed that the corpse demons were tearing at the city wall and quickly reported, based on my analysis. The 6th segment of the city wall can hold for a maximum of 3 minutes. Reinforcements are needed immediately. The flesh and blood wall is being devoured, and its recovery speed is far slower than its destruction, so it will collapse soon. During these few days of guarding the city, Ziwei was extremely focused and did not relax. The young girl's eyes had begun to bleed from exhaustion. The system update notification showed that she had activated her A-level talent, worry-free observation, allowing her to miss no targets within her field of view, and to consume mental energy to enlarge the view and rapidly integrate all the information. Seeing Ziwei's condition, Lingyu anxiously said through a video call, "Since the siege began, I've been using my ability to observe the entire battlefield and assist with coordination. Now, her condition is very bad." Song Ziqing remained silent, deeply moved by the girl's determination. She thought to herself, little cook truly has good judgment, making such great friends and men. She turned around and added, "Now I'll personally support the front lines. Make sure everyone looks after Ziwei and lets her rest." Lingyu immediately responded, "Understood." In another scene, on the city wall's defense line, Song Ka led some professional substitutes to provide support. Holding a weapon, she shouted, "Sister, adoptive mother, I've brought people to help." Adoptive mother, knowing Song Ka's strength, immediately reached out to stop her and shouted, "Don't come over. Their speed is very fast, and you won't be able to help." 3 evolved advanced corpse demons were besieging the adoptive mother, jumping around to dodge her attacks. The adoptive mother realized she could not handle these 3 corpse demons alone and shouted loudly, "Everyone, come on." Just then, Chen Bai suddenly appeared, swiftly brushing past Song Ka, and softly said, "Didn't the adoptive mother say you shouldn't interfere? Why are you here causing trouble?" Song Ka was stunned by Chen Bai's sudden appearance and blankly called out, Chen Bai?" Chen Bai, approaching, swung his hands and used the raging wind split technique. Everywhere he passed, the corpse demons were paralyzed. Chen Bai said, "Quickly take everyone back. Tell them the Lord is dead, and I'll handle the rest." Song Ka, hearing this news, was both happy and shocked, struggling to express herself. The Lord is really dead? Yes, the White Emperor has returned, so there's no need to worry about these corpse demons. Chen Bai performed a powerful strike, unleashing an earth-shattering attack that caused damage to hundreds of corpse demons. Song Ka, witnessing this power, was stunned and muttered, "Earthquake strike, the victory is already determined." Changing his weapon into an iron whip, Chen Bai swung it, the whip extending over 10 meters. He forcefully lashed the iron whip, splitting the corpse demons into pieces. Song Ka conveyed Chen Bai's orders, standing at the edge of the city wall and loudly calling, "Focus all efforts on killing the enemies. The Lord is dead, the White Emperor has returned, and victory is certain." Chen Bai's body erupted with tracking virus energy, emitting a purple glow. He loudly shouted, "Command the slaughter." With this command, countless spikes erupted from the ground, instantly wiping out all approaching corpse demons with a single earthquake strike. Song Ziqing also shouted loudly, "Kill." Now everyone could fully exert their strength and quickly end the battle. Song Ziqing used her purple star kill technique, shooting multiple iron pillars to eliminate the corpse demons. Meng also released intense firepower with her momentum, burning all the zombie groups. The battle and cleanup lasted for 4 days, and now the surroundings have finally quieted down. Smoke and dust filled the air, and Chen Bai stood alone, watching Tong Ziqi approach. He looked around thoughtfully and said, "The losses in this city defense battle are much greater than I expected." Tong Ziqi stepped forward and said, "You're right, the walls were almost completely destroyed. This was a 5-day-long war." She looked at the ashes and corpses on the ground and said, "We all overestimated our endurance and underestimated the intensity of the battle. Without you and Meng, we definitely wouldn't have made it." Suddenly, Lido appeared, laughing heartily and saying, "I think you should be a bit happier." After the victory in battle, Lido immediately appeared to congratulate the base and Chen Bai on their results. Although the battlefield looks quite tragic, the number of deaths is much lower than I imagined. Congratulations, the mission has been successfully completed. Lido stood on a high wall, excitedly talking about the next mission for Chinbai and the base. Now it's time to build your ice city. This is the challenge of the descending star, to create a powerful gang. This caught the attention of Tong Ziqi and Chinbai, and the two looked up expectantly. As soon as Lido finished speaking, the system interface appeared. The cosmic will task invest in building a golden level city has been completed. Rewards have been distributed. Tong Ziqi looked up and asked, does that mean the city has been successfully built and there's nothing more? Lido replied, of course not. Chenbai remained silent. Now, he took Tong Ziqi's hand and said, let's go to the place where you'll use the construction order. Tong Ziqi looked at him in confusion. At the gathering point at the foot of the eastern mountain in Jiang City, a ball emitting blue light appeared. Everyone gathered around, asking, what is this? No one knew where this strange object came from. I don't know, it just appeared suddenly, shouted the man standing above. Everyone be careful. The ball rotated on the ground, emitting dazzling light, and inside it, a castle could be seen. The system interface displayed, the city heart is restricted to purple evolvers and those authorized by them. After use, the city can be constructed. Now, the ball floated up and flew to the height of the people. Only then did they realize what it was. A young man reached out to grab it and said, this is the heart of the city, belonging to Lady Tongzi. Chi. Just then, someone saw the notification, the White Emperor and the Maiden King have arrived. The ball flew higher, growing larger, and emitting even stronger blue light. Chenbai took Tong Ziqi's hand and said, let's take a look. He said, oh, is it to be used here? Tong Ziqi responded while walking. Before using it, I specifically consulted planning experts. This location is very suitable. Tong Ziqi looked down and explained, this includes the mountains and the plains surrounded by mountains. Important buildings and resources can be placed here. There is also a vast plain in Jiang City, with water routes running through the gathering point, which can be used for transportation. Chenbai walked closer to her and said, indeed, you thought of everything. Let's go and build our gang. Tong Ziqi glanced at Lido, hesitated slightly, and said, wait, I need to ask Mr. Lido something. Tong Ziqi turned around and directly asked, sorry, Mr. Lido, although you invested in this for me, I want Chenbai to be the city lord. Lido adjusted his hat and said clearly, you're not asking me. The city heart already belongs to you. You just need to fulfill the commitment to establish a local merchant guild in the central area. In the distance, Lido shouted with power, go ahead, I've already authorized it to you. Chenbai looked gently at Tong Ziqi and softly responded. The two now resembled a king and queen, and Tong Ziqi had completely entrusted everything to him. The system interface appeared, the cosmic will reminds you that you have been authorized. Do you wish to use the city heart? Chenbai touched the ball and said clearly, yes. The ball immediately emitted light, becoming brighter than before. The system interface displayed again, the cosmic will reminds you, please name your gang S1. Chenbai pondered for a long time, looking at it thoughtfully, thinking, it's time to reflect on the matter of revenge. Chenbai changed to a serious expression, gritting his teeth and said, White Emperor City. The system interface prompted, the cosmic will reminds you, the naming was successful. City management control unlocked. The cosmic will reminds the owner of the city's heart to become the city lord. Within the White Emperor City, experience and drop rates increase by 20%, all attributes increase by 100%, and you can choose to activate the enemy's work in the White Emperor City, reducing all attributes by 50% after completing the ritual. The sphere turned and, by inertia, moved toward Chenbai's chest. A purple-green announcement appeared, Cosmic will reminds you that you have become the city lord of White Emperor City, granting you the highest level of management authority, with an 80% increase in all attributes within White Emperor City. She focused on reading and observed Chen Bai. A large announcement appeared. Cosmic will reminds all evolvers that Evolver Bai has created White Emperor City, numbered S1, and earned 10 reputation points. All the residents of the base cheered, 3 free attribute points. I got 2, what a pity, I should have killed a few more. Long live the White Emperor, long live the Queen. The large announcement appeared again. Cosmic will reminds you that you participated in and completed the city defense mission, earning 100% experience reward, and 3 free attribute points based on your contribution. Lido laughed loudly, haha. He walked in front of Chen Bai and Song Ziqing, clapping and praising, good, very good. Song Ziqing, hearing his voice, turned and asked, Mr. Lido, do you have good news? From afar, Lido appeared before them and said, Bai has obtained the position of City Lord. Ziqing has the highest management rights and support, which makes me very satisfied. This was a perfect deal, everyone got what they wanted. After saying that, he raised his hand and contentedly concluded, this investment is finished, and I am very satisfied with the result. Lido, slightly shorter in stature, reminded Chen Bai, especially you, Chen Bai, when I continue my journey, you must complete my investment mission as soon as possible, Bai. Chen Bai smiled. He wanted to joke but still responded politely, do you know how difficult the investment task you gave me is? Lido lightly lowered his hat brim and cleared his throat, ha ha ha, I trust you, young man. It was clear that Lido valued Chen Bai. After a while, Chen Bai handed Song Ziqing a scroll and said, here, this is the golden level city construction reward I just drew. Song Ziqing took it and held it with both hands. Chen Bai continued, didn't you already do a preliminary plan? Arrange a good place for it. She held the item and checked the details in the system. It was a supercomputing core representing the universe's highest technology, capable of designing mechanical manufacturing blueprints for trials, with high growth potential. Song Ziqing asked in confusion, what is this? The system continued displaying detailed information. The automated production line can be combined with the supercomputing core for automatic production. Just put the materials in, and the entire production process will be completed. Chen Bai patted Song Ziqing's shoulder and explained more clearly, the various mechanical devices produced can be used in the trials. With these things, concentrated places will have great development. After understanding, Song Ziqing replied, Song Ziqing showed hesitation and said with some doubt, but now it's different, even with guns, it's still. Chen Bai picked up a scroll, pointed at it, and further explained, these guns made by the production line may not be the ones we used before the end of the world. They have different attributes. You need to abandon the old notions of the pre-apocalypse. Look at the current city management system, it seems like there's nothing. His expression darkened, and his tone became more serious, but in the future, exclusive city blueprints will become more and more, and you'll find it dazzling. He then gave an example, explaining in detail, for instance, the S-level biological backup center blueprint can clone your body, giving you a second life. So, I hope the S-level anti-gravity technology can help us build cities in the sky. These blueprints can only be used in S-level cities. Song Ziqing happily held 2 tubes of items and firmly said, I understand. Our city will definitely become the strongest city in the future. The items Chen Bai gave to Song Ziqing had been handed over, and the two naturally fell into silence. Suddenly, a voice called out, Master, Master, startling the two of them. It was Meng Meng, happily calling out to Chen Bai like calling a father. This monster hunt was super fun. I unlocked 3 new skills in the dream world. The system immediately reminded, Meng Meng shared the skill description with you. The system displayed the detailed content, enhanced dream totem white noise. The dream totem can emit various sounds to make people fall asleep. Enhancing the dream totem greatly improves its hypnosis ability, and it also includes a mental suggestion function, making people relax and become less focused. After reading, Chen Bai praised, good choice. Now the dream totem doesn't need to be watched all the time, and it can still make people fall asleep. Combined with the hypnosis ability, it can also be useful in real-world battles. Meng Meng happily squinted her eyes into crescents, smiling and saying, Master, you're overpraised. This is just the method you told me after you looked at the skill tree. She then leaned closer to his shoulder and pointed at the system, continuing, Master, look at the third one, it's a newly unlocked skill. The system says it enhances dream abilities, allowing dream guests to choose to return to reality from any valid dream totem. After reading it, he said in confusion, is this a teleportation ability? Dream happily pulled Han Xiao to demonstrate, saying, yes, if I pull Han Xiao into the dream now, I can use the dream totem to teleport to his side. Of course, I can also not go and bring you to his side. Seeing everything going smoothly, Chen Bai said gently, you're already very skilled at selecting skills. Dream bent down and humbly said, but I'm still far from being skilled in other aspects. Then, she took the opportunity to tempt him, Master, are you free? I'd like to study the new skills effect. Chen Bai immediately agreed without hesitation, of course, go wait for me at the training ground on the hill, I'll be there soon. Dream smiled with her eyes squinted and sweetly agreed. Dream happily bounced away, and Chen Bai turned to give instructions to Ziqiang, pick a few people with different levels of mental strength to come here and test Dream's new skill in actual combat. Song. Ziqiang replied, no problem, I'll have them gather at the training ground on the hill once I find them. After Dream walked far away, Ziqiang approached Chen Bai holding two pomelos and whispered, but don't train. Too late, we've already prepared to celebrate with the city lord tonight. He smiled in response, got it. At this point, Ziqiang gave him a small preview, I heard Xiao Ka has prepared a surprise gift for you. In Song Ziqiang's villa, everyone was getting ready. The girls were preparing for Chen Bai's special reward, and Song Gu, arms crossed, observed Ling Yu practicing, commenting, looks good, let's settle on this set. Tonight was hosted by Song Gu, and she had poured her heart into preparing a big gift for Chen Bai. Song Gu turned to everyone and said, Sisters, are you confident to make Chen Bai submit in tonight's battle? Before Chen Bai returned to his harem, everyone was busy preparing for the villa's battle. Ling Yu turned and responded to Song Gu, of course we are confident, but Xiao Ka, please don't do like before and faint without doing anything. Hearing this, Song Gu was startled and hurriedly closed her eyes, shouting, that will never happen. After my free attribute points increase, I can use them all on my physique. Song Ji's loud voice even carried outside. On the royal luxurious bed, after the battle with Ziqiang, Chen Bai rested, placing his hand behind his head in surprise. Asking, what does Dream need from me? Ziqiang said, she asked if you have any dungeons to run for experience. Chen Bai replied directly, oh, I told her to finish the dungeon and come find me, I'll have her help if needed. Ziqiang rested her head on his shoulder and continued, okay, I've already told her. She then mentioned everyone's thoughts. She leaned closer and looked at him, saying, by the way, Bai Di, everyone actually wants you to guide them a bit on combat skills and skill selection. While saying this, Song Gu suddenly popped out from under the blanket and jumped into Chen Bai's arms, startling both of them with a yes. Then she coquettishly climbed on top of Chen Bai, positioning herself just right. Chen Bai gently patted her head and affectionately said, you can already see your talent skill tree now, there aren't even many branches. Do you still want to guide? Song Gu nodded, saying, I want to think about it. He narrowed his eyes, relaxed his facial muscles, and said gently, all right. Both of them took a screenshot of the skill tree and sent it to him. Suddenly, the girls from his harem jumped out from under the bed, surprising Chen Bai. Everyone was laughing brightly, and Chen Bai smiled in satisfaction, not bad. Chen Bai then looked at the system panel. He wasn't in a hurry to act and was stroking his chin, thinking. S-level I spirit, 3 evolution routes, quite a lot. Song Ziqiang replied, so, do you think the evolution direction for purple eye is useful? Chen Bai continued, but you're a queen, not a warrior. I should focus on enhancing the evolution of the purple eye to strengthen mental strength. In Chen Bai's imagination, Ziqiang sat on the queen's throne. He said, purple eye sees the mind deeply and nobly. These abilities help you understand the enemy and provide new control abilities, suitable for you. Ziqiang carefully looked at the system panel and said, purple eye sees the mind and can perceive attributes, distances, and mental strength gaps. It can even delve into the opponent's thoughts. Now Ziqiang, like him, was stroking her chin and said, if you look too long, you will enter a dazed state and even lose your sense of direction, quite noble. Chen Bai waved his hand and looked back, saying, Vai Vai, next is the introduction to your skill A. Vai Vai shyly murmured, I only have 2 skill trees. Chen Bai pointed at the system panel and turned to her, saying, this skill tree is fine. First, select a prominent vision skill for threatening targets, then select skills that resonate with your teammates. In the future, you will be an indispensable god-level assistant. Vai Vai smiled sweetly and said to him, I will unlock these 2 skills soon. Chen Bai looked at the beautiful girl gently and encouraged her, keep it up, your basic abilities and skills are already impressive. Now it was Lu Li's turn. He turned to her and said, the level of illusory phenomenon actually has a skill that can create miracles. Lu Li was also surprised and pointed at herself, saying, me? I've looked at my skills, but it doesn't seem like I have any damage abilities. He immediately turned to the system interface, pointed at Lu Li, and said, no, look, the illusory phenomenon skill has a strange effect. If the enemy doesn't understand the illusion, it will appear real to them. Do you get it? If they believe the nuclear bomb in the illusion is real, they will really get blown away by it. He lay on the pillow explaining, that's why this skill has no damage description, because anything is possible. Then, Song Ziqiang finally understood and exclaimed, this ability is too broken. Is this a B-level talent? Chen Bai explained, no, Yao Shu's talent doesn't have any skill that creates momentum or aura. In reality, it's easy to see through, so it depends on Yao Shu's technique. Chen Bai hadn't forgotten his first love. He turned to remind Su Xian, it's your turn to restore your advanced B-level speed. Su Xian seemed a bit stunned. Chen Bai placed his hand on his knee and said, you can balance the enhancement of 3 recovery abilities, stamina, flesh, and spirit, because your skill first takes effect on yourself. You need to activate it to help others recover. After thinking for a moment, he looked at her appreciatively and said, your ability is simple but practical. I haven't met anyone with a stronger healing talent than yours. Song Ka, grinning mischievously, hugged Chen Bai and pouted, Su Xian's not done yet, is it my turn now? Chen Bai teased, you're such a C-level gamer. In the end, the angry Song Ka bit his shoulder. Chen Bai let her do it and focused on Ling Ke. Next, let's focus on Ling Ke's advanced B-level skill. Ling Ke shyly said, haha, thank you, master. Looking at the system interface, Chen Bai said, her ability may seem like just quick thinking, but it's a god-level talent in battle. After activation, she can set a focused target on the enemy, enhance thinking speed, and discard all irrelevant information. After finishing, Chen Bai seriously reminded, so you need to choose skills that can help you judge the battle situation, and practice one-on-one combat techniques with the enemy. Ling Ke leaned forward, took out 2 white watermelons, and said, thank you, master. Let me express my gratitude through actions. Chen Bai felt a little embarrassed, not expecting her to be so bold. As he lay down, his hand rested on Song Ka's body. Song Ka said, this guy must be focused on you. If I stabbed her now, she wouldn't feel it. Naturally, Chenbai stopped and said, this won't do. Chenbai snapped his fingers, signaling Ling Ke to leave as he planned to do something else, but unexpectedly he took a step back. Ling Ke, surprised, asked, Master, why? He hadn't finished speaking when he added, to be more specific, you must control the target's time and enter a focused state. If you can't do that, this talent will become purely negative. Ling Ke listened carefully and promised, I understand, I'll practice control. Song Ka had been waiting for a long time and happily walked over, saying, it's my turn, it's my turn. Song Ka lay down happily, listening attentively as Chenbai thought for a moment and said, sea level. Intelligence talent. After gaining experience, it will reach B-level proficiency. Good, don't miss any. Skill that can be used. Once upgraded, you'll gain 10 times the insight into the whole skill. Then, he looked at Song Ka more seriously and said, you also need to speed up learning. Skill proficiency will increase tenfold, and speed growth will be 10 times faster than ordinary people. By then, you will be able to learn all battle stances, master combat techniques, and perfect combat methods. He lay down on the bed without teasing her anymore, although your stamina will never surpass mine, with exquisite techniques, perhaps. You can conquer me on your own. It seemed he really enjoyed teasing Song Ka. Song Ziqing awkwardly laughed from behind. Song Ziqing stood up and said with determination, preparing for everyone's ability tests, all right, now that the White Emperor has given the future development guidance, everyone must work hard. Don't let the members of the White Emperor be looked down upon in the future, or else it'll be a disgrace to the White Emperor. Inside the room, the many girls happily spoke in unison, yes, we will do our best. Yao Shu stood outside, listening to all of this. Noticing this, Yao Shu, who almost never appeared in Chenbai's harem, sighed and said, White Emperor's guidance is so good, I also want it. In another scene, Han Xiao slightly opened his eyes. Now, Chenbai was standing in Han Zhao's bedroom in MANHWA. He had just seen Han Xiao lift the blanket and exclaimed, wow! Dream Lao's skill is amazing. Did she really bring you here? Chenbai stood by the bed, softly replying with a smile. By chance, Meng sent a message to her master, the teleportation distance seems too far, I'm feeling a little dizzy. Chenbai replied, it's because your mental energy was consumed too quickly. You should go rest for a while. He quickly closed the system. Han Xiao hurriedly asked about the recent city defense incident, White Emperor, how's the situation over there? Chen Bai had already handled everything, and he suddenly said, what is it now? Why are you still asking about this? The leadership and arrangements are all done, and now everyone is working hard to build the perfect White Emperor city. Suddenly remembering something, Chenbai added, by the way, how many attribute points can we get from building the city? After all, you and Meng killed quite a few special substitutes in the dream world. Han Xiao pointed with 2 fingers and whispered, there was only one time when Meng Lao and I went to eliminate the mouth corpses in the dream space, and an accident happened. They all shouted to launch a mental attack too strong. I relied on my mental power to fly. But I was dizzy and fell to my death. Inside, Han Xiao felt like crying, his ability was too weak, and he felt very ashamed. Chenbai remained silent after hearing this, unsure of what to say. Han Xiao also remained silent, looking at him with a pleading expression, and the atmosphere became awkward. Chenbai turned around and decisively said, don't say you're from Team 001 when we go out. I really can't show this person. Han Xiao cried out, don't, White Emperor, only you and Meng know about this. There's no shame. For the benefit of the chemical factory, I'll take you to see it immediately. Just joking with Han Xiao, Chenbai turned around and smiled, all right, it was just a joke. Let's get ready and set off. Han Xiao, like a 5-year-old child, was so happy, squinting his eyes and cheerfully responding, "Great, great." Chen Bai just smiled indulgently at him. A pink butterfly-shaped mark appeared on Chen Bai's hand, glowing. He stood at the door, looking at it, thinking, this is the 3S level plague mark from the teleportation mission. Since I teleported here, it has been reminding me. It seems that the zombie plague in the chemical factory that Han Xiao mentioned is indeed related. Han Xiao walked up to the window and waved to Chen Bai, happily saying, "I just flew over." At this moment, Chen Bai's mind was full of thoughts about mission rewards and upgrades. He excitedly thought about White Emperor City. White Emperor City has just restored order. I need to go there quickly. What will the 3S level mission reward be? Opening the system backpack, Chen Bai flipped to the mask and couldn't help but wonder, what will the 3S level mission reward be? In Jiang City, I never dared to check this mask, afraid Lito would find out I hid it. The system panel appeared, Demon Bloodline Essence, High Level S Grade, Medicine Item, Description, this refined ghost blood crystal has been processed using a special method, making the ghost blood power inside purer and stronger. Do you want to use it? Chen Bai had just arrived at White Emperor City, and after landing, he thought, I didn't expect these bloodline medicines to be refined into such high-level essences. The most valuable part is that they don't need to be used. Han Xiao and Chen Bai arrived almost simultaneously. He excitedly said, up ahead is White Emperor, there's a green mist there. The two quickly landed safely. The green aura around them gradually dissipated. Chen Bai walked forward step by step and asked, do you know the inside of the factory? Han Xiao looked around and replied, I learned about it before the apocalypse. Chen Bai responded, good, then let's begin. Hearing that they had to act together, Han Xiao unwillingly frowned and said, do I have to go too? This green mist and mushrooms give me a very dangerous feeling. Chen Bai maintained a calm expression and said firmly, don't worry, as long as you don't leave me more than 10 meters, nothing will happen. I'll also take you to your father's workplace, which might trigger your mission. Han Xiao was startled. He immediately put on a mask, prepared, and said, all right, White Emperor. After a while, Chen Bai raised his hand with the pink butterfly mark, and the mark lit up. The system panel displayed, Plague Intelligence Seal has been activated, unlocking the next mission, Plague Sect, Plague Factory A grade. A special mutation has turned this place into a paradise for viruses and plagues. Mission objective, trace the source of the mutated plague. Mission reward, 10,000 experience points, fast skill, A-grade bacteria cultivation. Chen Bai focused and stretched out his hand, saying, we've arrived. From Chen Bai's two fair hands, he began absorbing the green virus, thinking, when my level reached 10, my talent was also strengthened. Although it wasn't described, my ability to control the virus has greatly improved. He raised his arms high, leaning back, enjoying it, with a very intoxicated expression, thinking, awesome. All microorganisms and viruses within 10 meters are completely under my control. Unfortunately, Han Xiao didn't have a similar profession and could only pinch his nose tightly to prevent infection. Han Xiao raised his hand in approval. To enjoy in such a terrifying place, you really are top-notch. Chen Bai turned and said, hey, are you calling me a freak? Han Xiao covered his mouth and laughed. A huge mosquito flew overhead, and Han Xiao pointed at it and shouted, White Emperor, there's a monster over there. Chen Bai instinctively looked up, startled. His right arm moved gently, and immediately, viral tendrils extended, coiling into a sickle. He spoke in a low voice, a mosquito? Chen Bai quickly took a step forward and started running, while Han Xiao froze for a moment. With a single lethal slash, the mosquito, 5 times larger than him, was cut in half. It was very surprised, not understanding why it was struck. After dealing with the mosquito, Chen Bai waved his hand in the air and coolly said, I hate mosquitoes. On the mosquito's corpse, Han Xiao found a cluster of mushrooms and shouted loudly, "White Emperor, look! Here, the infected mosquito is guarding near this mushroom. It might be a material for the instance." Chen Bai warned Han Xiao loudly, "Don't touch it unless you want to die easily. Just sniffing it will start the rot in your lungs, which is less painful than starting from your hands." Han Xiao, about to touch it, quickly pulled back and awkwardly said, "Ah, got it." Chen Bai pulled up the toxic mushrooms with his bare hands and said softly, "This is a combination of viruses and bacteria." As soon as he bit into it, Chen Bai ate it with great enjoyment, secretly pleased. "How does it taste?" Han Xiao quickly said, "White Emperor, be careful." Chen Bai chewed and said, "It's fine, I'm immune to this." While eating, his system interface popped up with a notification, "Absorbed deadly virus mushroom fusion, gained 150 virus points." Chen Bai put the last piece of mushroom into his mouth and said, "Not bad, one bite of virus is worth several elite zombies." Han Xiao responded with a system notification, "Absorbed deadly virus mushroom fusion, gained 350 virus points." Chen Bai walked ahead and said, "Let's go, we'll head to the factory area and your father's workspace." Han Xiao answered groggily, Okay, White Emperor." A moment later, outside the disease factory staff house, several dead monsters were scattered. Entering Han Xiao's father's room, Chen Bai and Han Xiao searched around for clues but found nothing. Han Xiao spoke. "I've already checked my father's work area. Nothing special, the next clue for the mission might not be here." Chen Bai said, "Then come with me to explore the source of the epidemic, but if I tell you to run, you must leave immediately." Han Xiao responded, "Okay, I won't hesitate. I won't be a burden." Chen Bai waved his hand and pointed ahead, loudly saying, "That place has the highest concentration of viruses and epidemics. Do you know where it is?" Han Xiao thought for a moment and answered, "That should be the sewage pool, where the chemical factory's wastewater gathers." He then mentioned 2 huge water pools inside. "There are 2 massive pools inside, very deep. Just pointing at them makes anyone who enters feel dizzy." Inside the disease factory's sewage treatment plant, Chen Bai opened a small window and entered an underground cave, where many giant mushrooms grew, and glowing insects flew in the damp air, filling the space with poisonous mist. Han Xiao stepped back and exclaimed, "Damn, White Emperor." Chen Bai calmly looked around and said to Han Xiao, "Surround yourself with mental power to avoid the disease from entering if you're too far from me." Han Xiao immediately responded, "Understood." Suddenly, a mysterious man wearing a cloak appeared from somewhere and spoke, "Children of disease, servants of the virus." He stood on top of a giant mushroom, raised his hands, and loudly shouted, "Children of the sect." Chen Bai looked up. Then he suddenly rushed forward, kicking and leaping. With a punch, he struck the mysterious man directly in the face. The punch carried a dazzling pressure, but this person was clearly not easy to deal with. At this moment, Chen Bai felt his power and thought, "I can't break through the defense, the blade is the strongest form of attack. The boss's difficulty is rank A, and the defense is this strong?" The mysterious man fell to the ground, struggling to push himself up with a cane and said, "Offer the most solemn sacrifices and the most devout prayers to the god destined by our fate, may our fate's god light the sacred flame soon." These words were a bit hard to understand. Chen Bai walked closer, full of doubt. And the mysterious man continued, "Thank the plague's blessings that spread throughout the world." Han Xiao was also rushing toward Chen Bai, and upon seeing everything around him becoming strange, Han Xiao froze and guessed, "White Emperor, are they kneeling to you?" Chen Bai was also stunned and replied in confusion, "I'm not sure either, maybe?" Now the mysterious man finally stood up, kneeling and bowing, respectfully introducing himself, "Of course, I am kneeling to you, great god of destiny. Pukasumi is willing to offer everything, even my life. This man's soul is Plague Sect Leader Pukasumi Y, Saren, level 71. Upon hearing this, Chenbai widened his eyes in surprise and muttered to himself, in my past life, I was only level 79 at most. How could someone this powerful appear at the beginning of the trial? But when Meng felt the spiritual power, it was D rank, and even though the difference is huge, it could still sense the name and level of a saint. It's really unbelievable, he must have no defenses against me. Then he slowly walked up and asked, am I the god of your destiny? In this situation, the silly Han Xiao was still grinning. Pu Kasumi lowered his head, not daring to look directly at Chen Bai's face, and replied, yes, the high priest guided your arrival. At the cost of his life. Our sect has received the mark of plague since the beginning, you must be the god of our destiny. Chen Bai smiled slightly, thinking, I heard in my past life that every high-level talent has its unique opportunity. That is the most precious. Maybe this is the special opportunity of the Virus King. The feeling of the plague god is much stronger than Han Zhao's demonic bloodline. He then asked Pu Kasumi, what can you do for me? Pu Kasumi immediately became excited and replied, we've paid a great price to enter the trial early just to help you in the trial. At this point, Pu Kasumi confidently looked at Chen Bai, his eyes shining, and continued, I'm so lucky to see you. So early. Every member can offer you a treasure from the plague sect, according to their individual strength. After that, Pu Kasumi earnestly explained, seeming a bit guilty, sorry, we cannot give you all the treasures directly, because we must avoid being detected and interfered with by the cosmic will. Chen Bai stood there, lightly responding, it's okay. Pu Kasumi happily replied, thank you for understanding, God of Destiny. Please tell us what treasures you need. Chen Bai spoke, do you have a class change scroll? His face was cold and expressionless, and no one expected him to say such a thing. Pu Kasumi was a bit surprised and asked, a class change scroll? Pu Kasumi immediately knelt, bowing to both Chen Bai and Han Xiao, saying, of course we do. He was happy but still maintained his calm, and Chen Bai was a bit stunned by Pu Kasumi's respect. A few seconds later, Pu Kasumi took out 2 items from his bag and read aloud clearly, Plague Knight S rank, Insect Summoner S rank. However, these 2 items were not important. Pu Kasumi spread his arms, using his power to make a bright book fly up, continuing, and our sect's most precious level 2 S-class profession book. Han Xiao was so scared that he nearly lost his mind and blurted out, level 2 S-class profession? Chen Bai exhaled and said calmly, is there a level 3 S-class profession? Since level 3 S-class professions are very difficult, Pu Kasumi hesitated and said, you may not know, but level 3 S-class professions are almost impossible to appear at first. Many gods also ascended from S-class professions, even from S-class to level 3 S-class professions. Hearing this, Chen Bai sternly said, I know, but I only need a level 3 S-class class change scroll. Han Xiao, who was behind, didn't know how to explain and could only awkwardly smile. Tears slid down Pu Kasumi's face as he laughed and cried, saying, only a level 3 S-class class change scroll? His emotions shifted from joy to happiness, and he couldn't control the tears in his eyes. Pu Kasumi knelt, raising his hands and shouting, this is our future god, the revival of the plague sect is imminent. Chen Bai was a bit disappointed at this point. He stroked his hair and lowered his head, saying, if not, then I'll look at other things. However, Pu Kasumi immediately interrupted Chen Bai, hastily replying, no, we have a way to obtain a level 3 S-class class change scroll. It seems that with the attitude just now, Pu Kasumi cannot be satisfied. Chen Bai was slightly surprised and asked again, is it really possible? Pu Kasumi maintained a ghostly posture and further explained, yes, it's not guaranteed, and you will need to go get it yourself. Chen Bai stared at him and asked, how do I do it? Pu Kasumi's emotions changed dramatically, and he was full of excitement when mentioning this matter. I can open a special secret realm, which can trigger the biggest plague event in Blue Star history. You will enter it to collect the plague seeds recorded in history. When the time comes, these seeds will be used to condense into a promotion scroll, and there is a chance to obtain a 3S level scroll. Chenbai crossed his arms and lightly stroked his chin, thinking for a moment before saying, since there's a chance, I'll definitely try. Pukasumi bowed his head and raised his staff with both hands. He firmly inserted the staff into the ground, the wind blowing his hair, as he muttered a poem, I dedicate my life, strength, and soul to become a ladder to the gods, the plague path of the gods. Pukasumi's eyes widened, his mouth gaping, his eyes shining like flashlights, and green flames ignited around him. His entire body turned into a green flame-like spiritual energy, burning fiercely and emitting flames in all directions. Soon after, the staff with stones fell to the ground. 2 notifications appeared. Do you wish to enter the Independent Secret Realm dungeon? 80 million beings sighed. The remaining time to enter the dungeon is 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Chenbai and Han Xiao stood still as Pukasumi disappeared in front of them, leaving behind only a huge mushroom. Chenbai looked up and said, how funny, this is an independent dungeon, I can't take you in. Han Xiao scratched his head and awkwardly said, White Emperor, do you mean that for such a powerful boss, you must dedicate all your power to open the dungeon? I'm too scared to go in. At this moment, Chenbai turned around and looked at the tall mushroom, feeling somewhat afraid, secretly thinking, the opening time of the special gate is limited. I'll take you out first to avoid being killed by insects or infected with the plague. Near the plague factory, Chenbai had safely taken Han Xiao out of the secret realm and had him stand on the street, watching Chenbai's departing figure. He said, what just happened to me? Han Xiao had some free time, so he entered the chat group and planned to show off. Han Xiao started chatting under the nickname Han King, just said goodbye to White Emperor, you definitely won't. Guess what I just went through? Yi Zi, how's White Emperor? I'm really not from Xianjian, please ask White Emperor. And Meng Meng when they're free, I still have a dungeon to clear. Han King, Xianjian, just wait, White Emperor probably doesn't have time to help you. Ba Wang, still hiding it, be careful I mark a few red dots for you in. Motto. Han King, no, Ba Wang brother, please stop, I'll tell you. Han King, an ultra-strong NPC kneeled and offered a promotion scroll to White Emperor, but White Emperor wasn't satisfied. The brown-haired brother from Ba Wang's account also changed his expression and commented, what exactly makes it so strong? Han King, wearing plain clothes, White Emperor couldn't break the defense even with full strength, so strong. Ba Wang, impossible? Wuna wrote a comment pointing at the system, what promotion scroll? Han King, 2S scrolls, 1 SS scroll. Wuna, holy crap. Shui Chuan sat in a room and said, so, White Emperor is still not satisfied. Han King, White Emperor said, if it's not 3S level, don't expect it, it's useless. Shui Chuan sent 3 dots. Han King said, then the NPC sacrificed himself for White Emperor, opening the dungeon to get the 3S level promotion scroll. Yi Zi, an orange-haired boy, answered, sacrifice? Han Xiao got tired of sitting and lay down on the sofa to continue chatting. The heir of Fengchen said, definitely, the gap between White Emperor and us is even bigger than the gap between us and ordinary evolvers. Ba Wang, after every big victory, hearing news about White Emperor always makes my bit of self-satisfaction disappear. Han King, I advise you not to cause trouble, and don't compare yourself to White Emperor. You can't use White Emperor to prove yourself. Han King, we're in the same group as White Emperor, and it's group number 001. Isn't that cool? Yi Zi, you're right. But I don't want to use White Emperor to prove myself, I want to get back at those cowards. Meanwhile, Chenbai was focused on the hourglass around his neck, thinking to himself, how did an hourglass appear? Then, Chenbai put the small hourglass into his clothes and muttered, being here alone is. In front of him was a magnificent city gate, both beautiful and grand. Chen Bai, with his small figure, looked up in astonishment and said, "Is this the Lama Stone Gate secret realm, Florence?" As he walked, Chen Bai shook his head and looked around the secret realm. He couldn't help but sigh. This should be medieval Florence, truly deserving of the title of the world's art capital, but it was only now that he noticed as he entered the city gates, the wide street was lined with houses and shops, yet there wasn't a single person in sight. Chen Bai scratched his head and awkwardly said, "Why is there no one here?" After a while, Chen Bai passed by a narrow alley and saw a person sitting inside, wearing a hood, their body slightly hunched, coughing incessantly. Chen Bai glanced sideways, a bit surprised, a thought flashing in his mind, someone. Just as he walked into the alley, the person, still hunched in the shadows, remained seated. Seeing him approach, the person spoke in a gruff voice, "Go away." The stranger coughed and continued, "Don't come near me, I am a filthy sinner, cough, I've been punished by the gods, I've contracted a disease." The person tightly covered their face. Chen Bai felt pity for them and stepped forward, placing his hand on their head, absorbing the virus from their body, and slowly said, "Do you want to live?" System prompt, Black Death virus, plague virus absorbed. Virus points increased by 3. Watching. The black gas virus absorbed into his hand, Chen Bai thought to himself, so it's the Black Death. System message, contact with the Black Death unlocks side quest, plague outbreak instance. Plague seeds. The groans of 80 million beings. Quest description, historically, the Black Death caused at least 80 million deaths. The plague spread across this land. The plague sect has the responsibility and capability to recover these plague seeds. Quest objective, collect plague seeds. Quest rewards, the collected plague seeds will be transformed into plague class transfer scrolls, and upon completion, rewards will be given. Chen Bai crossed his arms, resting his chin and thought, what are plague seeds, how do I collect them? I need to figure these out first. The person then took off their hood, revealing a beautiful red-haired girl. The girl was dazed as she felt her body returning to normal and stammered, I think I. Recognizing Chen Bai as her savior, the girl made a gesture of reverence and happily said, thank you. Divine Messenger Lin En, thank you for dispelling my plague. I am willing to follow and serve you. He didn't say anything, just gently took the crowbeak mask hanging from his shoulder, thinking to himself. Yes, I do need followers and fame. Getting information and finding things will be much easier. He put on the mask, saying as he did, no need for the saint gesture. I'm not a divine messenger. The red-haired girl froze for a moment and then asked, then, which god's messenger are you? Chen Bai walked forward with firm steps and said in one breath, I'm not a divine messenger. The girl stood there, utterly surprised. After donning the mask, facing the innocent girl, Chen Bai exuded a strong aura. The mask concealed his identity as he commanded. I am the god of plague. Go tell everyone that I can eradicate their plague. Let them come to the Lord's Square to find me. After saying this, the red-haired girl immediately obeyed, running to the crossroads and shouting, everyone suffering from the plague, listen. The god of plague has arrived and is now at the Lord's Square. She happily raised her hand, turned, and shouted at a household, let's go to the Lord's Square. The god of plague will eradicate our virus. At that moment, a figure slowly opened the door slit from inside the house and peered out, too afraid to speak. The girl ran through every alley, shouting loudly, attracting many sick people like herself, everyone suffering from the plague, let's go to the Lord's Square together. She then added, to increase credibility, if you don't believe it, come and see me. You all know me. A woman inside the house stuck her head out to look. A man holding 2 crying children finally spoke, wife, who is shouting outside? The wife stood by the door, observing, and replied, it's poor Elena. That poor girl may have lost her sanity from the illness. Elena sincerely introduced herself loudly, I am Elena, the daughter of the wealthy merchant Henry. Henry donated all his wealth to the church, yet our entire family still died from the plague. Come out and see, Henry, Elena, we have fully recovered. Hearing this, an elderly woman and an older man on Elena's right quietly opened the door. They curiously asked her, have you really recovered? Elena honestly placed her hand on her chest and answered, old lady, have you not heard my coughing from shouting so long on the street? After a while, many sick people believed the beautiful Elena. Though still ill, they made an effort to approach her, surrounding her in the middle. Elena calmly and loudly said, everyone, look at me. The god of plague has healed me. You don't need to donate money, nor do you need to cut blood to pray. Just go to the Lord's Square. A lady placed her hand on Elena's forehead to check her temperature, and Elena happily stayed in place without resistance. The lady seemed unable to believe her eyes and muttered, trembling, it's true, really true, no coughing. No fever. It seems the residents here had lost hope in this strange illness, but now there was new hope. She cupped her face with both hands, tears streaming down her face, and said, God, have my children been saved? At this moment, from where Chen Bai was standing, in the Lord's district of the medieval Florence Square, while waiting, Elena was walking and observing, thinking to herself, based on the situation in the city, this should be the 14th century. Treating the Black Death completely relied on faith and bloodletting. In the 14th century, the Black Death had claimed around 25 million lives globally, with over 80 million deaths from it. He looked up thoughtfully ahead, continuing his thoughts, if the source of the plague isn't here, does that mean I have to travel the entire world? A loud shout from behind caught Chen Bai's attention, Great God, merciful plague god. He turned to look. Elena hurried over to Chen Bai and said, please forgive me for not understanding the proper etiquette and titles, according to your instructions. I've done my best to bring everyone here. Following Elena were many sick people, struggling to follow her to see the god for healing. Facing the crowd, Chen Bai opened his arms with kindness and said, come a little closer, don't be afraid of these poor children. A young family walked up to Chen Bai, their eyes wide in astonishment at the scene before them, continuously coughing from the illness. Chen Bai extended his arms toward the small family. His virus magic spread like roots around them, and as he used his power, he said, may you all be free from the plague's assault. Wherever Chen Bai's energy reached, the virus was absorbed. He first absorbed the virus from the almost lifeless little boy. Then, Chen Bai's magic tendrils suddenly lifted him up, flying high, his energy snaking through many people, absorbing all the pathogenic viruses, and the air fell into silence. After a while, the previously sick family had regained their health. The little boy hugged his mother, sobbing and calling for her, while the girl looked at her father with happy tears in her eyes. The little boy in his mother's arms opened his eyes wide and loudly said, Mom, stop crying, I don't feel sick anymore, are you still uncomfortable, Mom? His mother, excited, hugged him tighter and replied, it's okay now, I'm not uncomfortable anymore. The people healed by Chen Bai joyfully spoke to each other, that's great, I feel so much better. I don't have a fever or cough anymore, I've regained my strength, it's a miracle. Chen Bai stood among the crowd, and a man loudly shouted, Great Bishop of the Light Church. A woman nearby hurriedly corrected, oh fool, that's not the god of the Light Church, don't blaspheme the great plague god, residents. The atmosphere was filled with emotion. They took turns kneeling before Chen Bai to give thanks, and a man, crying, said, Great God, thank you for saving us from the plague, I will forever follow and worship you, plague god. Chen Bai was very gentle and kind, not arrogant, gently opening his arms to everyone and saying, Rise, you might still feel a bit unwell. Because the plague has caused some damage to your bodies. Leave here and rest for a while, and your health will gradually recover. Then he carefully reminded those who had been healed, Hurry, there are still many children behind you suffering from the plague. At this point, Chen Bai finally turned to Elena and said firmly, To avoid misunderstandings, I don't seek your worship, what I want is for everyone to no longer suffer from the plague. An older lady, seeing Chinbai's compassionate heart, choked with tears and said, God, you have thought so carefully for us sinners, how can I praise your greatness? Elena raised her hand and loudly called out to the crowd, we should no longer disturb the god from dispelling the plague. Those who have recovered, please follow me, let's leave Acno Bridge and spread the god's mercy throughout Florence. As soon as she finished speaking, a heavy sound of footsteps came. Many residents saw this and immediately recognized it, panicking and shouting, the church knights are here. 3 knights from the church appeared before Chenbai, looking fierce. The knight leader shouted, someone reported that here a person claims to be a god, spreading heretical beliefs. All unrelated persons, please evacuate immediately. Upon hearing this, the residents scattered in fear. One of the knights pointed at Chenbai and asked, are you the one spreading a cult religion? I've heard you claim to be the plague god? The man didn't let Chenbai respond and immediately rushed up, drawing his sword and shouting loudly. The plague is a punishment from the gods, how could there be a god of plague? You foolish heathen! Behind the mask, Chenbai smiled contemptuously, thinking to himself, this is an opportunity. Our male protagonist allowed the people from the church to rush up and strike him with a sword. At this moment, he thought, this is the perfect chance to become a god. Not only the first sword, but the next 2 people also rushed forward together to stab Chenbai. In an instant, he was pushed slightly backward. Chenbai remained terrifyingly silent. The young man from the church thought he had solved the problem with the protagonist. He raised his sword and shouted, the heresy has been eradicated. You sinners, why haven't you repented yet? Kneel and confess. You have been deceived by heresy. This is why you must suffer from the plague. However, the remaining 2 men immediately reported upon seeing the abnormality, Captain, These people froze instantly, their faces filled with terror. Chenbai was completely unharmed. He even took off his mask, revealing a handsome smile and said lightly, I'm fine. Elena saw the church people pick up large stones to throw and shouted, damn, how dare you? Chenbai stretched his hand to stop Elena and said, stop, Elena, I'm not hurt. Elena angrily responded, I understand, the great god of plague is not affected by these sword wounds, but how dare they strike you? The red-haired girl clenched her teeth and continued, you will deal with these ignorant knights of the light church, then gritted her teeth and said, bring down the punishment of the gods. The 3 knights from the church were speechless, their faces showing embarrassment and confusion. Chenbai still spoke calmly and gently, no, Elena, you're wrong. They can't hurt me. I won't hold a grudge, nor will I punish them. Today, no matter how many swords they stab me with, I will still help everyone rid themselves of the suffering of the plague. Chenbai's words earned him even more trust from the people. They cheered and shouted loudly, this is the true God, the true merciful Lord. God of plague, merciful God, we will follow you forever. The 3 knights from the church were also stunned, watching the attitude of the citizens in the city. They felt isolated and bewildered. On the other side, in the Cathedral of the Light Church, a blond man who appeared to hold a high position walked to the front, hands on his hips, and loudly said to those behind him, 3 days. This damn heretic turned at least 90% of the city into his followers in just 3 days. Today is Sunday, and only 7 people showed up at the church. The bishop showed displeasure, grinding his teeth, and angrily continued, the Lord should have sent all the knights to kill him in the square, but you insisted on stopping me. Now, our people have gone there, and we only have 5 knights left. We don't even have enough strength to protect the church. The bishop remained expressionless and firmly responded, I stand by my decision, Archbishop Haken. You saw what happened in these 3 days. However, the elder Bishop John looked into the distance and continued, he appeared so suddenly and demonstrated the ability to expel the plague. In just 3 days, he traveled across the city, curing everyone. Bishop John took Archbishop Haken to the square, calmly analyzing, he taught his followers how to prevent and control the spread of the plague. He guided his followers to care for and treat those who had recovered from the plague but had not yet fully regained their health. Then, his face became serious as he started to acknowledge Chenbai's abilities, although his teachings are obscure and difficult to understand. These are all new terms, like small organisms, hygiene, and bacteria reproduction, but there is no requirement that his followers offer anything in return. Bishop John seemed to have made the right judgment. He analyzed and added, he also told everyone that the merciful gods would not let good people fight each other due to faith. Archbishop Haken seemed somewhat displeased and opened his mouth. Then, Bishop John continued, if we had acted against him that day, there would no longer be any doubt in the eyes of the people about who is the deity and who is the devil. Upon hearing this, Bishop Harkin seemed unable to accept it and retorted, it sounds like you're a follower of the plague sect, John. He then, still angry and arrogant, gritted his teeth and asked John, aren't you worried about the light church, about our Lord? Bishop John placed his hand on his chest, gazed at the sky, and said loudly, our Lord is the supreme deity. We have no need to worry about him. What we need to worry about is ourselves. I have already written to the Pope about what has happened here. The scene shifted to our main character, who had a glowing energy orb floating in his hand. Red energy hovered above his hand as he thought, this is the seed of the plague. Chenbai was in the room of a noble, sitting in a luxurious chair, formally drinking tea. As he rested, Chenbai thought, because the virus is in every part of Florence, when I took it out, it condensed into this. It's fortunate that I know how to obtain the plague seed, but the progress in all of Florence is only this much. This is bad news. The system announcement displayed, plague seed, Black Death progress has condensed to 0.001. Plague pillar energy established. Those who pray and receive baptism can transfer the plague into the pillar. The plague in the pillar will be transformed into plague seeds. Chenbai lowered his head, gazing into the distance, silently thinking, it seems I'll have to travel the world to fully condense it. Just then, Elena opened the door and entered, saying, Master, the most loyal followers are waiting for you. Still lost in thought, Chenbai snapped back to reality and said, okay, I understand. He went out to meet the followers. As Chenbai passed by, Elena respectfully bowed. Upon seeing Chenbai appear, the people cheered, filled with immense joy. Thousands of Florence's citizens gathered outside the house where Chenbai was staying, bowing their heads and kneeling as though he were a divine being descending to save all souls. Chenbai stood before the excited, cheering crowd and said, Plague God, all things corrupt, but all beings do not perish. Chenbai waved his hand, signaling for the crowd to stop. He then spoke, the plague in Florence has been eliminated. I will go to other places. Before I leave, I will leave something for everyone. Chenbai extended his hand, unleashing his energy to form a massive virus magic pillar, like a flame. He pointed to it and explained, the plague pillar, this is the plague pillar. Those who pray and receive baptism can eliminate the plague. The people of Florence were ecstatic, some crying tears of joy, shouting loudly, thank the great deity for granting us a miracle. Concerned that the people might become overly dependent on the plague pillar, Chenbai cautioned, do not rely on it too much. Once I take the plague away from this world, it will become ineffective. Remember the prevention methods and key research points I taught you. He then looked at the pitiful citizens with a gentle gaze and comforted them, do not fear, my people. You can live in harmony in this world. Use it wisely, and it will eventually help you. Never forget the teachings of the plague sect. Upon hearing this, Elena walked up to Chenbai, blushing as she said, we will definitely remember your teachings and the teachings of the plague sect. We will establish the plague church here and spread your teachings throughout the world. Chenbai affectionately ruffled Elena's cute head and said, thank you, it will be up to you from now on. Now, Chenbai felt that everything was in place. Standing before the many people whose lives he had saved, he bid them farewell, like a savior. I hope you will never suffer from the plague again. Goodbye, my children. From outside the city came the cheers of the people for the plague sect. All things corrupt, all beings do not perish. He walked out of the city and looked back for a moment, still hearing the cheers. All things corrupt, all beings do not perish. All things corrupt, all beings do not perish. As Chenbai walked, he turned around, feeling a bit proud and grateful. I never expected the people of this era to be so passionate about faith. It's beyond my imagination. At this point, Chenbai stopped and turned right, contemplating, but this is exactly what I want. This will greatly help me collect the plague seeds. It seemed as though Chenbai's mind was overlooking the vast world. He calculated the journey ahead, planning for the future. He wanted to go farther, not just as a person. The reputation of the deity will attract people to gather around me. This will make my path to collecting plague seeds much easier. Without the reputation of a deity, it would probably take at least 10 years to complete. Now, it will definitely be much less laborious. Chenbai silently made up his mind and said to himself, then, I will use the identity of a deity to complete this mission. His gaze was more determined than ever. A few days later, at St. Peter's Cathedral in the Vatican, a man dressed in green robes and with pink hair was respectfully kneeling before a pope seated on a high throne. Your Holiness, may God bless you. What is it that you need from me? The man called Pope sat in his chair and spoke. The failure in the Eastern battles has disappointed me. The demons took the opportunity to release the plague, endangering all beings. The Pope mentioned Chenbai. At this critical moment, a follower used the plague to steal the followers that belong to our light church. The knight in iron armor is the leader of the Sarong Holy Temple Knight Templar, and he asked the Pope again, are you saying that the one who calls himself the plague god is acceptable? Eliminate the plague? Do these faithless people even have brains to believe in such a scam? The Pope stood up from the table and continued, no, he has walked all the way from Florida here, and indeed has driven away all the plagues. The Sarong Knight was surprised, and he confirmed again, can he really eliminate the plague? Could it be? The Pope, learned and wise, walked while calmly analyzing Chenbai. No, Sarong, he can eliminate the plague, so he must be a demon. The demon releases the plague and then retracts it, using this to disguise a miracle and deceive the believers of the Church of Light, harming them and manipulating them so they cannot ascend to heaven. Upon hearing this, the knight was enraged. He gritted his teeth and shouted loudly, the demon is cunning, using such a trick. The Pope placed his hand on a nearby stone sculpture and carefully added, the believer has arrived at the Vatican. I've sent people to lure him to the square, and I've also gathered the people, inviting them all to come to the square. The Pope stopped in front of a holy lance displayed in a large glass case. He pointed to it and said, to the knight, Sarong, take Longina's spear, kill the demon in front of everyone, fight for the glory of our Lord, fight for the believers of the Church, fight to eliminate the evil from this world. Sarong Knight clenched his fist and firmly slapped his chest as he said to the Pope, may the Lord bless us, killing the demon and letting the world know the truth. In the square, an excited boy was introducing the place. This is the largest square in the Vatican. Bouncing along, the boy joyfully said with eyes smiling like crescents, as he led the way, please wait a moment, I'll go tell everyone you've arrived. Everyone has heard of your deeds and is very excited to see you. Chenbai stopped, smiled, and said to him, thank you, child, go ahead. I'll wait here. Now, he crossed his arms and secretly laughed, haha, since leaving Florence, other cities of the Church of Light either intercepted me outside the city or closed their gates tightly while spreading rumors that I am a demon, but here, a person without the plague has come to greet me. Chenbai looked up at the sky, sneered, and said softly, as expected, it's a despicable tactic. He looked at the tall statue of the Church of Light's symbol, placed in a prominent position, with a crowd gathering around it. He walked closer to the statue, and indeed, it was much larger than it appeared from a distance. Chen Bai looked up and stared at it for a moment, thinking to himself, it seems they couldn't hold back any longer, they've made up their minds to completely resolve me here in their stronghold. Then he furrowed his brows, and his expression grew more interested. He thought, but this is also an opportunity to deal with this troublesome church, which has always been the topic I've been waiting for. Chen Bai lifted the corner of his mouth arrogantly, come on, let me see what kind of tactics you'll use.